Hey everybody, welcome back to the Flat Thunder channel. My name's Andy, and today we're working on the never-ending struggle of trying to gain space in our shop slash workspace so we can bring cool stuff in and work on it. If you've been sticking around the channel for a while, you know we just put our air compressor up on the rack after dropping it on the ground, which was stupid. We have a pallet rack that's partially installed behind us here. And we need to equip that pallet rack with some decking so we can put more stuff up there, make more room down here, more cool projects. Well, what I have here is the same C-channel supports that we had fabricated for the green style decking that the air compressor was also placed on. That's for a 42-inch wide deck. The new deck space, to make things incredibly difficult, is a 48-inch wide deck. So what we need to do is make these things magically longer. So, here we go. Just tinkered around with old Johnny number 5. The side shift cylinder was leaking ever so slightly when it would sit. And it was a battle taking it apart. And taking it apart, I destroyed the piston seal. We got it back together. Yep, and it appears like it's still leaking with the new seal, so I don't know what that's all about. So, we have our deck over here. This is our deck space. We need to make custom bars over here on the right, if you can see with the light. But right now, this space from here all the way to the front of the building, it is ready for decking and to place stuff up there. Right here, earlier, we used the 7x12 bandsaw. It's the first time I ever put the stop on there to make multiple cuts at the same length, and wow, that's awesome. Zip through all these pieces here. We cut up one of those supports. We got 6 pieces here, so we can use these on 6 of those channels to make 6 deck extensions. And that really took the whole capacity of that saw, the full 7 inches, but it just cut beautifully. That Lennox blade, that trim cutting fluid, and this Clark metal bandsaw. It's the first time I ever outfitted it with the new good Lennox blade and the cutting fluid, and wow. Just turn her on and let her rip. So we got these pieces here. Let's get these over there to the weld table, get her welded up. The surface prepped of these, and I'm not going to go too crazy on it. These may be temporary pieces, to be honest with you, because I did actually order the supports. I'm just getting impatient, and the vendor is a little bit behind. This piece is just shy of 5 inches long that we're adding. We got the surface prep with some slight bevels on each side. The pieces don't necessarily line up perfectly width-wise, but they're good enough to weld. That's because he formed these just at whatever width of material he had available from the drop. That was able to give us the best pricing. This one here lines up pretty darn good, but this one's got just a little bit of offset. We'll just take care of that with weld, no big deal. Let's get her zipped on there and hope it doesn't warp too bad. I think we'll just stitch around it, probably 3-4 places each side, and then we'll just broil it in. We're gonna get new gloves. It kind of melted the finger here guiding electrodes. So I don't really have a good theory on how to do this. I just don't want the toe to kick up a whole bunch on one end or suck down. So I'm going to weld a couple inches on one side, kind of jump around, and then also weld on the other side. I think what I'll do is I'll weld maybe an inch here, flip it over, weld in the middle, and then come back on this side, weld the sides, fill in the missing places, and then flip it over and weld her out the rest of the way. If you didn't notice, we're on our last two pieces here and we ran out of wire. Turn my gas off so I don't waste it. Any minute now. Uh-oh. Now we're ready to wrap up these last two pieces. We got 4 over there. These last 2 here, we just got them all wrapped up. Relatively happy with that. That's still hot, but stitching it the way we did by flipping it and doing a few stitches here. We started off tack welding it both sides, and then 1 inch, 1 inch, flip it, weld in the middle on the bottom side, flip it, and then re-weld the places that weren't welded. It's important to remember, I am not a welder. A skilled welder could do this probably in a shorter amount of time, one, but also you don't need to weld that the whole way. I think probably you weld the sides and the legs of these form brackets, and maybe 2 or 3 stitches on the top, and this thing's good to go. Me being mediocre at best, I'm going to weld it all the way around there just to take into account some of my deficiencies. So those are all welded. I don't think they're bent too bad. We're going to hit them with the flap disc just to dust some of the sharp edges off the end, and then we're going to get them up in the pallet rack. Let's talk a little bit about some of the stuff we want to put up there. So one, I have this pallet that has these C-channels on it here behind us. That pallet was up in the green rack on the very top shelf. Very difficult to get it up there just because of the height of the ceiling clearance. So, plus, I don't think I want to keep these really. Depending on how fast the fabricator gets back with us, who's making the new longer pieces, we may or may not continue on and make our own. But really, I gotta admit to you, I think the consumables that I spend making these pieces is probably almost more money than the pre-made pieces. Not to mention the time that it takes. It doesn't take a ton of time, but I could be doing way other cooler things than building a pallet rack. So let's go over here and talk about some of the things we want to put up there. Obviously, you see the crane. That's not gone up there. But what we want to ultimately do is be able to get in here and work on this crane, but we got junk around it. So right in front of it here, we have more materials for the fence. We got it blocked up so we can pick it with the forklift. But we got to get that big pile of materials out of there so we can access the crane. I want to move the crane at a minimum, maybe get it on the truck just to get it out of the way. We're not ready to put it on the truck, but it'd be nice for it to be mobile and not right in the middle of the floor. We also have the replacement cab for the Flat Thunder truck. That needs to go on the truck, but right now it is in the way and we're not ready for that. So if that can go up there, that would be pretty cool. First, let's start with that material. I think we're just going to slide some of the toolboxes out of the way, or maybe the welders, I don't know. We'll see what we got. We got 6 form pieces. That particular load's only going to take probably 2, just because it's already a long piece of tubing. So let's get them up there and see what happens. I don't know. I'm a little antsy about old Johnny number 5 here. She can do it. Oh no, wait a minute. He can do it. Oh! Nice. Now we're just raining fluid all over the place from the side shift cylinder, which I tried to repair that. The O-ring with the backer on the gland was damaged and I didn't get the right replacement when we rebuilt it. I got a different one that was a supposed profiled seal to eliminate an O-ring and backer combination to work better. Looks like it works worse than the damaged one, so that's not right. We got it up there. Let's take a look at the brackets that we made up there and get this mess cleaned up. Should have ratchet strapped all those pieces together so they couldn't unstack. Those channels want to go all over the place. Yeah, my mistake. We got all the pieces up there. We definitely realized that, hey, Johnny number 5 used to have some problems going. Now he has problems stopping. Must be something in the brakes that were tight and now they're just loose. Because previously you really had to work at it to get them to go. Now you have to like, pray you stop. So we're gonna have to address that in the future. But luckily we got it up there without any major incidents. I see our pieces up there. If you look at the right angle, I don't know if you can see it or not. Our pieces have a little bit of a belly in them from the load. I did take the middle support out because I didn't think we need it. But after seeing how those bend, I'm going to put the middle support back in there. I went ahead and added in 1, 2, 3 extra supports just to be on the safe side. The one in the middle has cribbing underneath it, so there's 3 beams supporting that load. The extra ones on the end are just there, not really doing anything. Johnny wants to go, 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 but he does not want to stop. That was very odd. We almost had a potential disaster there because every time Johnny switched into gear, forward or reverse, he just wants to take off like a rocket. Never did that before. You always had to step on that accelerator to give him quite a bit of gas for him to go anywhere. Not for sure what that's all about. So we're going to have to remedy that before we do any more lifting with Johnny number 5. It is just too dangerous with it being all herky-jerky and just trying to ram everything, to be honest with you. If you like this video, don't forget to give me a thumbs up. Leave your questions and comments in that section below. And don't forget to punch that subscribe button your way out. Thanks for watching, everyone.